But with regards to Jake and the picture, I don't blame him. Now, look, physical violence, we don't need to get into that. But for what he does in the world that he lives in, he would be compromising and sacrificing a ton.
Oh, yeah.
If that picture were to get out. And get out, not even to the public, but get out to the president.
Oh, that's a big problem here, dude. Like, that would be a big, massive problem given what the heck's going on here.
Yeah, so I think that photographer got off easy.
I think he might have, actually. And, the fact he was breaking into someone's backyard and snapping a photo anyway.
What are you doing? Breaking in?
Off. The deal, I think, for Jake is I was watching the episode in post when we do, as I've talked about to you guys before, when we're in the process of putting music in and we're doing sound effects and stuff. And I always get to watch it. It's a wonderful experience. I get to watch it with a bunch of people who haven't seen it before and don't know what's coming. And the moment where the guy broke in to take the photo, everyone in the room went, like, it was awesome because you knew that you don't want him to get caught.
Yeah.
But it's such an incredible moment. And you really do feel for Jake in that moment.
You feel for Jake. And I think I specifically remember shooting that with Carrie, and we did it a couple of ways, and each time we did it where I would sort of make a move towards the photographer as soon as he snapped the picture, and she would stop me. We did it where I didn't make a move, which I'm sure you saw in the editing room, and it just felt more right for her to sort of assume control of that situation.
You're in her turf.
That's exactly right, and it was completely out of my control and out of my purview with regards to, Jake is never in that position. He never puts himself in that position.
No.
And I think this was the first time in his life, and he was acting instinctually.
I mean, I'm definitely starting to get this feeling that this guy really, in seriousness, can do everything and has been in a lot of situations. Like, he feels like the stuff that he's seen and done, the relationship with the president, which we're going to learn more about as we go through this phenomenal last bunch of episodes, I think you guys are going to get much more of a sense as to the depth of the relationship with Fitz and what that's all about. Clearly, the guys walked a lot of road.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think, when we first find out, we meet him and we find out that he's in naval intelligence, which just by the very definition of that job
I'm terrified.
means
right
of course, that you've seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Then we find out that he was in the Navy with Fitz, which means that he was probably in there for a long time. We think about it and we think about what the age difference is between Fitz and Jake. So, Fitz was probably Jake's commanding officer. I think Jake, and I'm talking backstory that I've made up, I think Jake has probably went through officer training school and sort of rose through the ranks, but he and Fitz became close, became friends, if you can be, with a commanding officer. Mm-hmm. Just doing what he does and having been in the military, then in military intelligence. And now we're learning sort of in this gray place where the president can call on him to do these things that's really outside of his duty with regards to the Pentagon.
Technically, his job.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And there's so much more there than meets the eye.
Yeah.
And, what's funny is
one
of our fine Twitter gladiators sent in a question you just actually answered, which was Neo Scandal asked, how did Jake and Fitz know one another? Was Fitz Jake's commanding officer in the Navy? So that's your backstory, certainly.
I mean, we're given a certain amount of information in the script, and as an actor, part of my job is to sort of fill in the blanks and build a character, and that spans everything from Jake's relationship with God and his parents to the kind of cologne he wears. I mean, everything. You got to go through and
I think he wears high karate.
High karate? Interesting. Does anyone wear high karate anymore?
No.
No, I don't think you can find it anymore.
What do you think? What kind
Brute
of cologne?
Or
Brute, I think.
Well, you know what I chose, and it's like a stupid choice, but Old Spice, Navy, ships.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
That's what you got.
Oh my God, you totally get a microwave oven for that.
The level of detail is disgusting.
But the truth is, that's what you guys do.
That's what we do. And when we know that Fitz was a naval officer, we know that Jake was in the military. We know that they have a history together. So
yes.
I sort of connected the dots in the most simple way possible.
Totally. And as you guys all know too, because talking to a lot of the actors, we've had these conversations about how Shonda really makes a big effort not to put too many pieces of the puzzle or a lot of backstory in, just because I think characters are evolving, and so you guys are very good at creating the realities that really infuse the character that you're playing. And
thank you.
That really, I think, definitely comes through, that there is a very deep, intense history with the two of these guys, because when you really think about it, the president called him to do the one thing he couldn't ask anybody else to do.
Yeah.
And he doesn't trust Cyrus right now, and he doesn't trust Melly, and he doesn't trust anybody. So who does he call? He calls this guy from his past who Liv isn't even familiar with. So it's a really interesting triangle in a lot of ways that is starting to develop.
I think I have those people in my past.
Yeah.
You know, that my wife she's heard their names before, but doesn't really, and if something really bad happened, they might be the people I call before I called my brother, or, because there are people that fill different spaces in our lives, and I think this is one that Jake filled obviously perfectly for Fitz.